Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Jay Liggins in the flesh. How we doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here.
It's kind of weird we're doing this live in a locker room that you and I spent some time in.
Oh, yeah. It's so much time, man.
I know when we were walking down, we were talking about how many times we went up and down those steps coming into the Hank Bijou Stadium here. How many times do you think you've done that?
Shit. 10,000 times.
Oh, dude, at least. Because you were kind of a multi-sport athlete when you were here in Dickinson. You did football, which was really good. You played corner, right?
Yep.
And then we did track too.
Triple jump, long jump.
And you were pretty good in that too.
Yep. 2-time All-American.
Tell everybody what kind of brought you to become a multi-sport athlete. Was it something in high school, or because that's the thing these days, Jay, that a lot of kids don't really want to do. They want to kind of stick to something, and but in your experience, which is a great experience, what kind of brought you to become a multi-sport athlete?
See, I feel like I had a kind of a weird journey just because, like, with the success I've had in my sports in college, I really didn't have that coming out of high school. So, like, I was probably better at track than I was at football. It was to the point where I wasn't even sure if I wanted to play ball no more because I wasn't making the advances I thought necessary. I got 3 older brothers on me, all great athletes, all did some good things at Bismarck High School. And I feel like I wasn't quite there yet. So like my sophomore year, I was probably like 5'10", 160.
Really?
Yeah. And then so I wasn't that good at football. I wasn't that good at track. And then so my first time jumping, I was triple jump here actually at the university. I jumped like a 38, and I remember telling coach, like, I don't know if that's for me. And then he was like, no, you're going to be a triple jumper. So he kind of pushed me for the track thing to keep me in that and keeping me, having someone rooting for me. And then as far as football, so I'd say I was 5'10", 160. My sophomore year, my junior year, I was 6 foot, like 185. Yeah. So I was like, I might have to, might have to see what's good.
Yeah.
And then so that kind of got me to stick with football. And then I ended up doing well, but still I didn't even play varsity until I was like a senior. So coming out of high school, I jumped like a 40. I set the state record in triple jump. So coming out of high school, I was like, I'm pretty good at track.
Yeah.
So, but also I didn't have that passion for it. Like I, it was still just a sport I participated in. So I was lucky enough to be offered because I had some scholarship from some places. Some schools wanted me to do both, but like some of the bigger schools just wanted me to do track. And Dickinson was one of the schools that was like, you can actually do both. And I was like, you know what? I'm definitely a football player.
What other schools, out of curiosity, wanted you to just do track?
So Ndsu was speaking for me a little bit, and so was UMary. UMary was okay with me doing both because my brother was there, and they just they were okay with it. And then but those are some of the bigger schools. I think I had like Concordia, like Shattern.
Okay,
some of those kind of schools, but I didn't really do a very good job of getting myself out there and allowing myself to have all these opportunities for recruits. Just some of the stuff with academically, I didn't push myself as much as I should have. And also I didn't really like the whole recruiting process. So a lot of the teams I kind of shut down before they even got it started.
Yeah.
But
so then Dickinson calls Coach Stanton. And Stanton, was he still the track coach then?
No, he wasn't.
He
Schillinger actually did my recruiting and stuff for me.
Okay, Jace.
Yep.
Okay.
And he was the track coach at that time. And then he let me take this off.
Oh, you're good, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, he was my bad.
You're good. No, get comfortable, buddy. You got to get comfortable.
Yeah, but Schillinger, he did most of my recruiting stuff with me. And so he came to do the visits, recruiting, the phone calls and all that. Yeah. So he was who I really touched base with mostly. And he was also a track coach at that time.
Okay. So then you do well in high school, and then you come to Dickinson. What's kind of the first thing you think, because did Stanton like, hey, we want you to play football, come check it out? Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah, they're just like, we like what you're about. We want you to come here, play both sports. They offered me a pretty solid scholarship, So I was definitely, because that's one thing, I didn't want to go to school and be in a bunch of debt because I didn't even like school like that anyway.
Yeah, no, same here, bro. You're preaching the choir.
Yeah, so they offered me a pretty solid scholarship, and I was like, no complaints. I ain't really good with math, but I ain't have to pay for my school. So I was just like, oh yeah, easy choice for me. Great opportunity. I like where they're about. And it seemed like they're on the up and up. You know, they're getting new uniforms, you know, like new equipment. They're doing things like that. And
this beautiful facility we're in today.
Exactly.
It's a nice stadium, man.
It really is. It really is. And then they was like, you can be a part of this.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm with it.
Because I was a senior when you were a freshman, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because my first year was 2014.
Yep. And that's when I was on my way out. But okay, take us back now to, let's fast forward to your senior year, where you kind of come out of the box as a football player. I mean, you were good previously, but tell us about your senior year. What kind of led up to that? Because that took you down a path that we were just talking about. Nobody wanted you as a football player. Now all of a sudden you're becoming this great player in the NAIA. What kind of led to your senior year, Jay?
Well, so at the end of my junior year, so beginning of my senior season, I ended up making the Reese's Bowl senior watch list.
Really?
And so I get a call during like 2 weeks in the not training camp, but summer football with the Hogs. And then I get a call from this reporter or something like that. It was like, and he's like, hey, I kind of introduced himself. And then, you know, for me, it was just a regular interview. You know, I'm like, okay, you know, I appreciate the love, publicity. And he's like, how do you feel being on the Senior Bowl watch list? And truthfully, I wasn't that familiar with it at the time. So I'm like, huh? And then he's like, no, he's surprised, like, bro, like, this is a big deal. And then I'm just like, you know, I kind of, you know, I'll go through it, and I pull out my phone and I start like seeing what it's all about. And I'm scrolling down the list, like Alabama, LSU, Georgia.
Oh my God.
Now I'm just like, Dickinson State, Jay Liggins. And I'm the only NIA school on there. And I'm just like, wow, like, okay, like I got some attention. And obviously it was from like the end of my sophomore year going to my junior year, it was kind of a goal. You know, I was like, I want to make the NFL. But it was also one of those things where it was just like, I ain't really like have like a plan to do it. You know, I was just like, I'm going to be great. I'm going to make the, you know what I'm saying? Just thinking like
day
small.
At a time.
Exactly. Thinking small minded. And I was like, damn, like I'm getting close to making these steps. And then so he calls me about that. I see my name on there. And I'm also, you know, like, I'm the only NIA guy for a reason, you know? So it's like, don't get, like, I ain't like, get like so like bloated, but I was also like, this is cool. This is a recognition. This is going to be the baby steps. And then I go into camp, you know, I'm doing my thing. I'm feeling good. And then the season's progressing. And then I kind of had a slight injury to start the year off, but not major. So like, you know, and then, so now the year's going and I ended up, like I'm playing well, doing things I need to, but not like crazy. And then all of a sudden I had, honestly, I was having a pretty solid season, truthfully. And it's like looking back,
give yourself some love, man.
Yeah, so I was having a pretty solid season, and then the pick happened with presentation.
Dude, that is all-time picture. Whenever we post this podcast, I'm gonna make sure that's on there. Take us back to that play, because that was awesome.
I mean, I was guarding their best receiver, and he was at this point he's like, I think we're like 4 or 5 games in, and he has 6-7 touchdowns. So he's like their whole team.
Yeah.
So I knew I was gonna get some action. I knew I was gonna get some attention. And then that play comes, and he ain't really that fast, so I wasn't really scared of him deep. But he kind of did get me off the jump of the ball, and I was like, oh shoot. And then so I'm coming, then I look up, and this guy throws a duck. And then I'm coming for it, and then I was gonna, you know, bat it down, but I was still like trying to catch it, you know what I'm saying? And then I reached for it, and I was like, I think I caught it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like, even if you look at the video, I kind of bring it in. I was like, no, I think I really caught it.
Yeah.
And then I tried to push him off me a little bit, and I was just like, I better get down. You know what I'm saying? Because like I got hands like that, but I was still just like, I think I really caught it.
Yeah, dude.
So I like get down, I roll up, and I'm like, I heard the crowd, and I feel like that's one of my best college experiences. Obviously, it was a great, like, phenomenal play, but my best feeling about it is just the roar of the crowd.
Yeah.
Just the excitement, like, from everyone. Exactly. So I feel like that's the picks itself, you know, it's what, like, it's great, but it was just like the roar, the excitement of the crowd was really like, that was like, when I see the play, I have to turn the volume up because I forget the pick. It's like the hand's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
So
whoever took that picture, major shout out to them, because that's a great picture of you just going up one-handed. Look like the Michael Jordan logo.
It really does. It really
It's
does.
awesome.
Yeah. No, so that was great. But then so I got that pick. I ended up going on like ESPN top 10 and like Randy, you got Moss.
That was on You Got Mossed?
Yo.
No kidding.
And then, so that really got me a lot more national spotlight attention. And then from that pick, I was booming on Twitter. Then I had my agency, EMG, they reached out to me. And then that kind of started that with them. And then I ended up signing with Ed Brown. And so like that pick started so much for me. And then going off to end my not end it, but in the playoff game, getting 4 picks too. So I feel like, truthfully, like coming from a small school and like having that little bit of attention I did in the beginning of the season, I feel like I was able to carry all that momentum, like with everything I did. Like halfway through the season, I had that crazy pick. End of the season, I had 4 picks in one game. So like, I feel like that's what I was like able to do to get me to where I was. Like I feel like I did what I need to do when the spotlights were on.
Yeah,
like,
when the door of opportunity opened,
exactly.
You kicked it in for sure.
Exactly.
So, okay, so you do a good senior year. You kind of get all these accolades, which is pretty good. Because you got All-American, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you get All-American, you get all this stuff. What happens next into like, how does the path develop here? Because you tried out with the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens now, Jay?
So I get done with football. I'm putting together, like just trying to do more to get my name out there and, let people know like I'm out here. And then as much as I can, considering the season's already done. And then I signed my agency by that point. And so January comes around and they're like, let's get to it, And
Yeah.
I'm thinking too, like I'm in a good spot. A lot of the big time schools, they're not even done with their season yet. If I can get the jump on like my training and everything, I'll be in a good spot to be better than these guys in the sense of all that. So come January, I go out to Texas and I start training with the raw power team.
Okay.
Damon Patterson. And then, so I was out there from January to March. I think I had my pro day in March. And so I'm out there full-time training, on like 10 to 6 kind of thing. And then from there, I do my pro day in Ndsu.
Okay. Who was at that pro day?
Far as
like players?
Easton Stick was there.
Easton was there?
Yep.
Okay.
Because he and I left the same year. And then we got, I always struggle to say his name, but he's actually in Winnipeg right now. Sanyado.
He's playing for the Blue Bombers?
Yep, he's their running back. And then Kane Boshi was there as well.
Okay.
And
what's the pro day like? Was there head coaches there, assistant coaches? What's that like?
So it was mostly just scouts, at least for like that.
North Dakota State.
Yeah, it was just the scouts there. So it was with Sticks being there was a ton of scouts, and I actually at this point I had quite a bit of attention as well. So and then so when you're doing your events, the scouts who are interested, they're there watching you,
right?
Like just sitting there, clipboard in hand, like taking notes, seeing what you're about. So it was a really cool experience, and it had a lot of like a track vibe to it. Like it felt like a track meet almost, like you're going from broad jump to the vert.
Yeah.
And so it was
40. All
40.
that stuff.
So it was kind of like a track meet in a sense. So like I'm used to that kind of stuff. And at this point I did a lot of training. I'm feeling good about my body. Pretty heavy. So a little heavier than I was used to. So some of that stuff was a little difficult, especially being a jumper.
That's how I feel right now, a little heavier than I used to be.
You looking good.
Got that COVID-19 body, bro. God dang.
Yeah, so I was pretty solid at that point. I think I was like 217, like 6%, 5% body fat. So I'm like a big guy, and I usually play around like 210. So it was just a little different muscle I had on me too, but I was feeling good, ready to go. And so it was real cool having all the scouts and stuff there, watching me perform. And I did pretty decent. I feel like some areas, like being like a jumper, I feel like I want to jump a little higher on my vert. And then like my broad jump, I ended up like scratching because they want you to land pretty solid, I ended up scratching like a big one that I thought was pretty big. Like I think it would have been like 11.3 or 10, like a deep 10. And
that's pretty good.
I ended up falling back on it. But what's cool about that compared to track is like they do see that. So it is like it's noted.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, didn't happen, because they all right there watching it. So they do see it. So that was cool. That it was just like, like they were able to see what I'm a little about. And then from there, I went to Ohio to train with Griffin Elite. And that was more just a tapering kind of process, getting ready for potentially getting picked up by a team. And so I was there for like 2 months in Ohio. And then from there, the draft starts. So it's like April. And then
the draft.
Yep, the draft.
Bum, 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 bum.
Exactly.
Yeah. So has any NFL coaches reached out to this point or anybody like that? Have you had any conversations like that?
Oh yeah. So with the whole process, I had team scouts usually. I feel like I didn't really. Doug Peterson texted me one time, but I mean, like, I don't know.
Doug Peterson?
Yeah, but I feel like
damn,
some of those guys were like, "Oh,
he ain't gonna be texting no more." He gone.
No, you're right. Yeah, but like, so
he texted you?
Yeah, but some of the
What
guys
did
were
he
like,
say?
it's an automatic message. That's what it was kind of saying. But he just after I got there, so he was just like, "Oh, welcome to the family."
Oh, so you already had signed with the Eagles to this point?
Yeah, but no, this was just I was just so like I had like. So I had quite a few teams like just reach out to me. So teams that were really like, I remember the Falcons contacted me the day of the draft, but then like the 49ers, they were always talking to me. The Eagles weren't speaking to me much, truthfully, but then the 49ers were a team like I figured I was going to go there because they were the whole process talking to me, texting me like, how's your numbers? How you feeling? Like
Cali bound.
Yep. Good luck, before games and stuff like that. So I kind of
good luck before games.
Yeah, like they're like it was a scout.
Damn,
So
that's
like,
awesome.
He was really like he was into me, and then the draft comes. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't no day one kind of guy.
Yeah.
So then like even day two, I'm kind of like, like I wouldn't be surprised I did get drafted. So I'm then day three comes and I'm just like kind of tired of watching all of it.
Yeah.
Like getting anxious. Like I'm gonna just take a step back. I've been intently watching it for hours at this point. So I go down, and then the agency I'm signed to, they're like my boys, they're my friends. Like we're good, like we get along well. We're homies. Like, and so I go down. We just kicking it. We playing Madden, playing 2K, just kind of relaxing, kind of on our phones. Like keeping track of everything. And then my agent, he comes down and he's like, "Hey, the Rams just contacted me. They're interested." The whole time I'm not trying to get too big a head or not. I'm not trying to get too gassed up and get let down.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm cooling, playing games still. And then he comes back down like, oh, the Eagles just contacted me as well. Like, they want you too. And he's like, they're actually in a bidding war for you. Like, both these guys, like, they want you. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And he's like, you should probably come upstairs, get a little locked in.
Yeah.
So I'm up there. They're discussing numbers over the phone and stuff. And he took care of all that. I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And then it gets to the point where he's like, hey, the deals are in, like this is what they want. This was what. So I think the Eagles were going to give me 26,000 guaranteed, and the Rams were going to go 25. And then plus like my contract, this was just the guaranteed money. And then I was just like, and he tells me that, he goes, where do you want to go? And then I'm like, like I figured it was going to be like us as a group, we want you, it was kind of like, that's like, where you want to go? Like, what's your play? What's the move? And
damn.
He's looking at me. Then my representatives are all looking at me. And I'm like, well, the Rams want me to play safety and they're giving me less money. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just go what I'm familiar with and the bigger check, not that it's like that.
Play corner for the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have to learn to play a new position and learn how to play in the NFL. So I was just like, I'm gonna stick to what I know. And then I end up telling them. And then after that, I get the text from Doug, and then they have their liaison or whoever you want to call them reach out to me and just basically tell me like what things are going to look like these next few days and weeks to come. And then like my agent's like, hey, you can call your mama now, bro. Like,
oh my God, what a feeling.
Eagle. Yeah, it was real crazy. It was just like a blessed experience. It was like a day after my birthday too. And I'm just like, wow, like
good birthday.
Yeah, right. Great birthday present. So it was a real cool experience, and it was just insane to even look back on it.
Oh, I bet, dude. Okay, so then do you hop on a plane right away and head down there, or what's that process like?
So that's like April, and then I think we report, mid-May, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, so then you get down there and you get to, let's just fast forward to like kind of when camp rolls around. What was it like going into an NFL locker room, kind of seeing what it's all about? Take us back to that.
I mean, walking there and seeing my locker And then, cause I didn't know what number I was gonna be before I got there, you know. So I get in there, I see my locker, Liggins, like 46, like the gear's already set, the hat, the shoulder pads, like shoes, cleats, and I'm just like, man, like this, like, you know, like
It's all happening.
yeah, like exactly. Like I ain't, as much as I wanted to go to the NFL, I ain't never dreamed of any of that. Like having my own agent, like going through the whole process where I'm getting calls from scouts, where I'm at like a pro day, things like that. Like as much as it was a dream to me, it was a dream, you know, it was more of a goal. And then I was like, damn, like I'm here, baby. Like
Let's go.
like, you know, I made it. And but that's all thing, also the tough thing about the whole situation, because it's just like I got picked up by the Eagles, but just like the journey had just begun. You know what I'm saying? Like my foot just in the door. So it was also like for every door I opened, it was like a bigger and heavier door after that.
Yeah.
So it was just like kind of like every time I did something, it was like I need to stop, reevaluate. What's next? What's the next goal? You know what I'm saying? To keep that hunger and keep that fire and stuff going. Because like obviously right now I ain't on the Eagles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
ain't like it was like, oh fuck, I'm done. You know, I made it, I'm kicking it.
Yep.
It's just so much more. And then so at like seeing that, and I was just like, all right, I gotta get it. And then I think one of the cool things about it was just like just because I always, you know, I had to remind myself, like, I ain't like these dudes as fans. Like, I'm here
I'm my
too.
own guy.
I'm here for a reason.
Here too. I'm dancing too. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, I got a date to the dance. I'm
Yeah,
here.
it's
you know?
on.
But it was cool being on some like, you know, Deshaun Jackson. That was a guy I grew up watching play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like seeing him, that was a cool thing where it was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, like that's D-Jack, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. Then like Carson Wentz went to like our rival high school. So like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, oh, Carson.
Yeah,
but it was cool.
yeah.
You know, you're a big smart boy. He showed me some love. He knew my brothers and stuff pretty well.
Carson did.
Yeah, because they were like the same age around there.
Yeah.
And so that was cool seeing him. And then like on some like, I was just a bathroom on some regular shit. Like Zach Ertz came in. It was just like, what's up? So,
Yeah,
you know, it's just, so it was cool on like some like seeing these big time players, like in like some normal situations. And I have to remind myself too, like, I ain't like these guys. I ain't playing with the same check. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of, you know, I'm a little something too.
Yeah,
so that was, it was a real cool experience just going through it all.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you like have any cool like one-on-one experiences like with guarding Deshaun Jackson or anything like that? Like when they're going live, anything like that, Jay?
Yeah. I think he and I went against each other like 3-4 times. Like, so it was, I remember my first time guarding him. It was like, I line up and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I'm getting ready. I'm just thinking about what we just called and what I got to do. And I'm pressing them. I knew I had to press. So I'm man up, thinking about my alignment. I'm getting ready to get myself together. And then I look up to like guard the dude. So I'm like, weights down kind of thing. I look up and I see number 10.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, oh, you know, like that's Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I remember even thinking in that moment, I was just like, oh, shit. That's Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
And it was a moment it passed like that, but it was just like, you know, I was like, you know, like I got some work coming my way.
Yes,
so
for sure.
It was real cool. And then on that play, I did pretty well against him. And then like, so it was really cool. That felt really good to be like, you know, so I feel like moments like that is when like I was like, oh yeah, like I'm here. Like, you know, it reminded me because I always try to stay humble and like I know what I'm capable of. So I know my ability. So it was never like oh man, like these guys are different, you know. Like, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think moments like that, and then like I guarded Zach Ertz like all the time. So I think it was real cool just to see the different levels of what makes guys great. Like Deshaun Jackson's phenomenal athlete, but it's like he probably ain't got that same like crazy top end speed he used to have. So it was real cool to see how like what he did to remain great, you know. And then even guys like Zach Ertz were like, I'm faster than him, but he, like, you know, like there's a lot of guys who are probably faster than him, but he still is able to do what he does every night. And so it was real cool to see how these guys like, where they was like, oh, you might have this, but like I'm better at football, you know? Like, oh, you might be a better athlete. You might be like, you know, I could probably have them check down a lot of the boxes, but they're like, I'm going to win the play.
Right.
So it was cool to just see the development and like how these guys like, you know, like how are guys in the league for 12 years? Like, what do they do? Like, you know, like you're not the fastest guy no more. You're not the most talented, not the most gifted, but like just to see the different things that these guys were able to do with them bodies and like on the field and outsmarting their opponents. So I thought that was really cool and I thought it was really interesting. I was able to learn so much from just even watching these kind of top end guys.
Okay, so what happens? Like, obviously, the Philadelphia thing didn't work out. So then you go to St. Louis.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. So now I go to St. Louis Battle Hogs, and then
is that AFL?
XFL.
XFL. Oh, you were in the XFL.
Yep.
Damn, what was that like?
It was really cool. It was a great experience. I think the biggest thing I was able to take back from there is just the different journeys everyone has.
Yeah,
Because like when I got released, it felt like I was the only dude who played pro ball who wasn't on the team.
really.
Yeah, just because like I'm at home. I was playing on Sunday and Monday came. I'm playing the game on Sunday. I had people like, "Oh, we watched you play. You had a great game." Da, da, da. I'm here in Dickinson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm in Dickinson talking about how good I looked last night on the game.
Damn.
So it was like,
So they let you go right after the game.
Yep.
Oh my
We ended
god.
up having injuries. So I think we had offensive linemen get hurt. There's like 13 DBs. I was the only rookie DB. I'm sure it was an easy choice for them. Like, all right,
Yeah.
So I ended up getting released from that, and probably wasn't doing everything I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? So
But like you said, you learned from it. You
Exactly.
gained so much from it. So it was a great experience
Yep,
already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I think the biggest thing I learned from the XFL, just because we had the introduction, because I ended up coming there late because I was on the team when they did their drafts and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I ended up getting there a little late, and then we do all the introduction stuff, and then it was just cool to see like everyone having different journeys. Like, oh, like guys being like, oh yeah, I got cut. I haven't been on the team for 2-3 years. XFL gave me a chance. Guys who were like, oh, I was in Japan. The dude who played in Japan, he was out there
Playing football?
Yeah,
Really?
Yep. And then he came here, and then so it was really like cool to just see everyone's different paths, and because like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm at home, I'm just feeling like, wow, like it's just me, like I'm the worst guy in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So it was real cool to be like to just see the different journeys, and I feel like that was one thing that I really was able to take back from that whole experience, because those guys are all talented. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a major drop off in talent or anything. Like it's still the same skills, same coaches. Like it's the real deal,
Yep.
But it's just everyone has a different path. Everyone has different timing, different windows. So it's real cool to like see like oh, I ain't missed my window. Like I'm
still here.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Like don't get too down on your lows. Don't get too high on your highs. So it was a real cool experience to be like, a lot of these guys were down bad, and some of these guys were up high. Like, so because there's some guys who just like, oh yeah, I played with the Ravens, got this big check, like, and now I'm here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool to just see everyone's different experience. And then Marquette King was on the XF. He was with them
The
too.
punter, right? Marquette. Yep.
Yeah, he was there too. And just like 2 years ago, he was talking NFL.
Oh
like,
yeah,
his
everybody loved
swagger,
him.
his kicker, and now he's here too. So it was real like, it was just real cool to just be like, it's part of the game. The ups and downs of the game, it just comes with it.
Yep.
Like even top players get released at one point. Like Joe Falco got cut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's like, it happens to everybody. Like it ain't just me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So then you do the XFL thing. Then how do you end up on my favorite CFL team, Winnipeg Blue Bombers? How do you end up in Winnipeg?
Yeah. So I was after, because COVID kind of messed up a lot of things with the XFL. And then I ended up getting released a little bit before like COVID hit bad. I ended up getting released a little bit before that. And then I'm chilling, because they were also in a little break period. So it was like, the period was like, oh, you could get called back, or, we don't know for sure. So I was kind of in a little void of just keeping my body right, staying ready. And then COVID hits, the league starts falling down. And then I'm kind of thinking like, what's next? And then I had like the Toronto Argonauts contact me. And then my agent was like, hey, don't jump in anything. Like the NFL, like just slow pay. NFL's still going. Like don't do anything too drastic. First eager, because I was eager. Like I want to put pen to paper. I want to call somewhere home. And
Get going.
He's like, slow play. They don't report for a while. There's no point to sign in 7 months before the season starts. So I'm just waiting on that. And then Winnipeg contacts, and they're like, we're about you. We're ready to go. Same kind of deal. Agent's like, wait. And then it started getting a little more clear that Toronto was okay with like wait until last minute, they were like, we'll wait till last minute, and then if we don't want you, we don't want you. And then so like my agent was like, oh, we might as well just pull the trigger on this Winnipeg thing. So they ended up contacting me. I ended up started doing all that, and so I ended up signing like shoot, I was supposed to report June of last year, so I ended up signing like May, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but I ended up signing earlier than COVID hit. Season's delayed.
Season's done.
Yep. So at this point, they're still like, oh, we're just gonna get delayed. So it's like it went from being September to August to like now we're not having it. And then the same thing kind of happened again.
But this summer.
Yep. So
have they said anything to you about like what's going to happen with the CFL at all, or is there a time to report?
Yep. So we report the training camp starts July 10th.
Okay.
We report the 2nd because we got a quarantine when we get there.
Okay.
So this with the report date the 2nd, training camp the 10th, season starts August 5th.
Okay. Yeah, man. Have you been up to Winnipeg yet?
I haven't.
Dude,
no.
I was telling you before we hopped on, like my parents race horses up there all the time. So I kind of halfway grew up there every summer. And it's a great city, dude. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good things about it. I'm really excited. I can't wait.
And their stadium is like it's newish, but it's a lot like kind of like where the like Seattle Seahawks play, kind of like after that. And those fans down there go wild, dude.
Oh, yeah, I hear it.
I've been to a couple games. Have you heard what a beer snake is?
No, I haven't.
So it's like, they sell like beer like in those like, they're kind of in a red Solo cup shape. And once all these drunk Canadians get going, like the fourth quarter, they take all those cups and stack them on top of each other, and then they make a huge snake that goes all the way up to the stadium. Dude, it's wild. It's awesome. So the atmosphere up there, you'll fit right in, man. I'm really excited for you. When I heard that news, because I had talked to Stanton and I had talked to you a little bit, and I'm like, what's Jay up to? And he was telling me about your Winnipeg, and I'm like, God, you're gonna fit right in perfect, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I really do think like once you get up there and kind of get your bearings and kind of learn a little bit more, dude, like you say, just take it a day at a time. If it works out, man, maybe get another shot at the NFL. How exciting would that be?
Yeah, for sure.
But, like you were just saying, that's why I know how mature, that's why I think you'll make it, is because you're taking it a day at a time. And that's a smart way to go about it.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, you just can't get too high on your highs, too low on your lows. So I just feel like just step by step, just improving myself, improving my craft, just being obsessed with it. Because like, if I ever feel like I ain't got it no more, what I'm saying, I'll gladly walk away. Like, but I feel like physically, I ain't never been in a situation where I was just like this guy's better than me and everything. Like he's faster, he's stronger. Like, he's better than me. I haven't been in that kind of situation yet. I've been in places where I've been outsmarted. I've been in places where just like I wasn't mentally focused. I've been, like I ain't perfect. I ain't, I've had my personal mess ups, but I feel like there ain't a time where we're just like there ain't nothing I could do to stop someone. I ain't never been just straight dead ass overwhelmed or overmatched by nobody. So, and
you've been working out here in Dickinson, kind of during this whole COVID thing, right?
Yep, I've been working out at the Iron Chapel with Kobe Wortman.
Okay, shout out Kobe Wortman.
Yep, exactly. He's been getting me right, really working on a lot of explosive training and just keeping me ready, someone to hold me accountable, because it has been a long period since.
Dude, I know. Since COVID.
I've been pushing myself, but after a while, like that light at the end of the tunnel starts getting a little dim. I hate to even admit it, but it's just like truthfully, like it got to a point where I was just like, I'm working out, like DB work, running, conditioning, hills. I'm doing everything 3-4 times a day, and it's just like, for what?
Yeah.
It's just like every time I look at dates, they're pushed back. Like the whole world's on lockdown.
Dude, I know. Yeah.
So.
You're talking to a guy who moved from Scottsdale, Arizona back to Crosby because of COVID. I think everybody's kind of, Jay, in a similar situation when it comes to that. Is just everybody's kind of waiting. That's why I think it's going to be special this post-COVID, and the roaring 20s are truly going to come alive because everybody's been waiting. And now the opportunity is back there and we can finally move forward. So I don't know, man. I'm excited for you. Are you excited?
I'm so
Would you say you're in the best shape of your life?
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, I feel like, I'm a little older than I used to be. So I feel like I've been in as good a shape I have, but feeling when I was like a little younger, but I felt better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm at that point where like I'm like how I was, 2021, 20 and 21, like where I'm just like, I don't feel like I get tired very often. Like, I'm saying, I'm feeling good. My bones are feeling good. I feel healthy. I feel, I feel good. I feel alive, so I'm ready to go. And like, and like how you're saying, like everything's been on pause for so long. Mm-hmm. We're having meetings again with the team. This is our second week of having meetings every Thursday. So it's just like, it's here again,
yeah, it's a good feeling.
I'm really excited for it all. And I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Well, I don't want to hold you up too long. I know you got to work out here with Colby here at 12:15. But one thing I ask everybody on my podcast with swim lessons being, you know, kind of getting through the tough times and learning to just move forward with everything. What is something you'd like to leave the people that listen to this, kind of some words of wisdom that you've maybe lived by, that you can maybe leave us with here?
Just, you know, always just keep going, always keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their ups and downs, and everybody has their own battles they're dealing with. And just know there's abundance of love to give and receive, and that, like, you're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to think like that. Have that Zen attitude. You know, I'm gonna do this.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I feel like I was with COVID and everything going on. There was some times where I was just, you know, like sad, depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't feel like myself. And it was just a few things I used to always try to just, which really like helped me. I always tell myself, it was like, I think it was like 5 things I used to try to live by. It was like, don't live in fear. Like, no, I always have abundance of love to give and receive. And then it was like, don't thrive off my worst tendencies. You know, like sometimes I could be like antisocial. I could be withdrawn from people. Like,
you can?
Yeah.
You think so? Does that kind of help you in those tough situations, just to take kind of a step back?
Yeah, but sometimes it's like a cancer, because just like if I, like, you know what I'm saying, like, we do need people to get through stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough to do everything by yourself, and then truly it's impossible to do everything by yourself. So it's just like, it's nice to ask for help. And those are another thing I always try to tell myself, like, I need to, like, if you need help, to ask for it, to search and receive. And I've noticed since that point in my life, when I've lived by those kind of principles and things like that, things have worked out for me in the good ways, like reaching out to people, reaching out to people who, you know, have your back. Yeah. And just asking for help. And because if you do it by yourself, if you just pretend everything's good, you know what I'm saying, like, it ain't always good. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to not be all right. Someone say, how you feeling? You know, like, everybody want to be like, oh, great. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing well. But it's just like, sometimes, like, you're not, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool to just be like, ask for help, reach out a hand, because you're alone, but they want to see you win just as much as you want to win. So have those guys. Yeah,
man, I agree 100%. Even when you do, sometimes you just end up getting back further and further when you're like, I'm fine. When deep down, you know, oh shit, you know, we got some stuff going on. So like you say, it's good to have good people in your corner. And what's nice about Dickinson State is, you know, they're always going to have your back. I mean, just like me today, when I called Coach Stan, I'm like, hey, can I do a podcast in the locker room? Like, I want to interview Jay. And without any hesitation, he's like, yeah, for sure. And I don't know, I can't speak for other universities, but I don't think that's how it always is.
No, for sure. And even this, like, I haven't seen you since college, you know what I'm saying? Then you come back and it's like, let's make it happen. That's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the love that's always there. Yeah. And like, you know, like you could have been like, oh, I don't want to bother Jay. Or like, you could have just been whatever, like, you know, withdrawn to yourself and just been like, I'm not going to step out of something I'm not, you know, I haven't seen him in a while. Like, like, you could have been like that, but you're like, no, like I'm not going to live in fear of like him saying like no, or I'm not going to do it. So it's just like things like that, and asking for help, asking, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you want to see me win just like I want to see you win. Yeah, and just like those things, like, you need people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to need people. It's okay to need help.
Yeah, you don't know unless you go. That's kind of the saying I always live by. And well, dude, I know a lot of people are rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. You got to send me some Bomber merch once you get up there, bro. And hopefully, if everything pans out, I'll be able to come up to a game. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
If not this summer, next summer for sure. But thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Hey, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, Instagram, j.liggs, _23. Twitter, JamalcolmX.
So Malcolm X. Yeah.
Jamalcolm _X. And then,
that's it.
Yeah. I think I be on my social media, but I don't really be on it like that. So I'll be forgetting all the platforms. But.
Well, no, you'd be surprised, man. When I told some people that you and I were going to sit down and chat, a lot of people are wondering what's going on, you know, because of COVID and everything. And a lot of people, you know, like you were saying, we're talking about how well you did with the Eagles, and then about St. Louis, and now with Winnipeg. So people are wondering about you, bro. They want to see you succeed, and like we just got done saying, a lot of people care, and a lot of people want you to do big things.
No, for sure. I feel the love. The love.
All right, Jay. I appreciate you, man. Take care, and best of luck up in Winnipeg.
Yeah, thank you.
I told you it's gonna be a party.